Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What's on the news today? PlayStation Plus loses nearly 2 million subscribers months after its relaunch of the new PlayStation Plus experience, however you want to call it. Uh, they have lost 1.9 million subscribers between July and September of this year. Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki, there's a fun name, said there hasn't been great momentum. Despite this, the company has simultaneously seen a 10% increase in revenue. So essentially, what is happening is people are bailing, and then some of the people are staying are upgrading to their one of the upper tiers is what it seems to be if they're making money but they're losing subscribers. Microsoft has also had a slight decrease in the Game Pass as well. So is this, as far as Sony goes, is this a exodus because they don't like the tier system, because they don't like what's on the tiers? Or is it just, money's tight and people got to, put their money in better places? Now, so let's start with Nick, because I believe Nick is the only one who subscribes to the Ultra PlayStation Plus program. And Nick, what do you think about this decline?
I think it might be a mixture of. I say it's a mixture of what you were saying. People leaving it because they have better places to put that money, and also because the service currently at its current time doesn't really have anything to offer. When I do have the service, but I don't pay monthly for it because I bought like a year of before the service came in, you could buy a year of PlayStation Now, and then it would convert to the top echelon version of the thing for that whatever. So I have like a year of it of that PlayStation plus extra. And I really don't use it. I check it out every once in a while, but there's really nothing on there. And I think this is, we've talked about PlayStation Plus before, before it was coming out, and then after it came out. And this is going to be Sony's biggest problem, right? And that is their first party titles not coming straight to the service. The games that they do have, PlayStation 5 games and such, that they have on the service are like 2 years old. By this point, people have already either played them or owned them, right? Because in those 2 years, these games go on sale. They become super cheap. People pick them up. People are not going to, like God of War Ragnarok that comes out soon. People are not going to have this service wait 2 years before playing Ragnarok. They're going to go buy it either day one, or it's going to go on sale, maybe not this holiday season, but next holiday season, and people are going to pick it up then. So that's the that's the biggest problem with this service is, you don't have anything on there. I think a lot of the people you have a lot of older games, and a lot of people that wanted the service wanted the classic titles, the PlayStation 1 and 2 kind of games, but they haven't added to that collection since basically the subscription service has come out. I think they've added like 1 or 2 games to that, and that's all they've added. Everything they've introduced to the service since then, because every month or so they do put out a little thing saying like, these are the games coming to PlayStation Plus. The problem is the games coming to PlayStation Plus are old games that most of people now have already played, right? I think the last one they had Dragon Quest, not 11, but the last Dragon Quest game that came out. They had I can't remember the other ones, but they had some other ones on there. But like Dragon Quest, I think was the biggest title. But that game has been out. It's on Game Pass. So if you have Xbox, you have Game Pass. It's been on there for like a year now. And that game is been on sale several times, and it's been out for like 3 years now, 3 or 4 years. So people have already played it, right? The people that want to play it have already played it. Now, might there be people that check it out? Sure. But I think what a lot of people that are subscribed to the service currently are finding that there's really nothing on there to download and play. right? There's if the games that are on there, besides the classic games, the PlayStation 5 games that are on there, even the PlayStation 4 games that are on there, most of them I already own. They're sitting on the shelf, or I've already played through and beaten them, right? So I don't have a need to download it from the service because I own it. And so, I don't have a need to play or purchase the service for these games because I own them already. So, and I think another thing too, the last thing I'll put out here is, I think the tiered subscription model has also, I think that can be very confusing to consumers. It would be better if they just had maybe like one model that if you want to just play online, you pay like $20 or whatever it was to play just online, right? Or $10 or however much it is, just for their PlayStation Plus online service to play their online games and get the free monthly games, right? That come out every month. And then you have the bigger tier that includes everything, right? So just having two tiers, I think it makes a lot more sense than having, they have like 3 tiers or 4 tiers, right? I think, is it 3? Yeah, 3 tiers. So 3 tiers, I think is confusing because, when you try to divide your tier system, divide your PlayStation Plus system into so many different tiers, especially 3, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. A lot of gamers that are not informed don't know what each tier consists of, what tier they need for what they're wanting to play, right? Or what they're wanting to experience with the service. But I think the biggest downfall they have with the service is not putting their first party titles into that, right? The first party titles for Sony are Sony's bread and butter. And since that bread and butter is not a part of this service, those people with the service are thinking about getting the additional services are thinking, why do I need it? Because I'm going to buy the new Horizon. I'm going to buy the new God of War. And most of those people that play PlayStation for that experience, they're going to buy those things day one, right? They're not going to wait 2 or 3 years for it to finally hit the service. So if PlayStation wants to turn this around, I can understand why they lost 2 million subscribers, and they could continue to lose more. If they really want to turn this around, they are going to have to start putting first-party titles into that service. If they put first-party titles into that service today, the PlayStation Plus subscription prices would explode. I mean, they would be making hand over fist money through PlayStation Plus. Even if they put it in the top tier, I bet you these two guys would probably go, where's the sign up button, right? Because then God of War Ragnarok and all these first party titles are going to be right there in the service, ready to download day one. So, I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot not doing that. So if they do that, I think they could definitely turn it around. But right now, it's just not worth it. What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, I would somewhat agree with you. The lowest tiered price system is like $10 and it gets you, the monthly games and all that kind of crap and the discounts. I'm one of their 2 million losses because I was subscribed and then determined for myself that it was a shitty deal and decided I'm done with this. I was giving them money I bought a lengthy subscription thing that expired and I did not renew. Because it just wasn't worth it to me. I get on there and look at the monthly games and I'm like, I already own this. I already played this. I already got that. And I'm like, why did I pay for this? Because it gave me nothing, so, I decided that it wasn't for me and didn't renew my subscription. So, yeah. So, I mean, and then, and the next tiered subscription gives you what? Access to PS4 and PS5 game catalog and some PS2 and PSP classics for an extra, $5 a month. So what is that? I mean, and then the most expensive tier gets you some streaming of PS3 classic games, So, and that goes up to $19, $17.99, $18. So not worth it. Not worth it in my opinion, because it's just, I'm not going to play those games. Nick, are you on the premium tier where you get the stream the classic games? Is there stuff on there you don't want to play, or is there anything on there you wanted to play that you got to play?
The streaming portion, it works all right, and I have checked out a few of the games on there and stuff, but it's not worth the price, right? I mean, because I don't want to stream them. If I want to play, I have a PS3 and a lot of the games on there I do own, but if I wanted to play them, I'd rather download it. Like if they gave me the option to download, because they do have some really awesome PS3 games on there, but I don't want to have to stream them all. I want to be able to download them, and I think that's another thing that hurts them, not being able to download PlayStation 3 games directly to your system and play them, and only the option to stream them. So
right.
I think that hurts them too.
Yeah. Stuff not coming to their day one is a huge hit that's a huge thing for me, because that's why I am not subscribed, because I'm like, I've already played. Here's the thing is I use my PlayStation for exclusives. That's what I do. I'm my PlayStation, unfortunately, whatever, however you want to look at it, fortunately, unfortunately, is not my primary gaming console. I primarily play on Xbox. So anything that I play on PlayStation is just stuff that comes to PlayStation only. And that stuff doesn't hit Game Pass. When I want, or game, their Plus, PlayStation Plus. So I buy the games that I want to play, and which means that PlayStation Plus is essentially worthless to me, because I don't want to play any PlayStation 3 games. I don't care about a lot of PlayStation 4 games, because if they were in the catalog that I wanted to play, I bought them when I had my PlayStation 4. So PlayStation Plus is worthless to me as a gamer because it doesn't bring me any benefit. So I'm not subscribed to it. So it's a tough call. I think there are a good chunk of gamers out there like me, and probably Shane, and maybe even you, Nick, when you consider when your yearly subscription expires, are you going to renew? Because is it being beneficial to you? Like, how often are you actually getting on there and finding something that you want to play from that catalog? I mean, sounds like you don't get on as nearly as often as some of the people that's their primary console. Like, I haven't been on my PlayStation until we played this last game, and probably over a month, maybe even longer. I hate to admit, but now that God of War Ragnarok's coming out, I'm gonna get back on there and play that. But outside of that, after that, I don't know what else is next that I'm gonna play, and things like that. So, Shane, when's the last time you got on PlayStation Plus, or the PlayStation in general?
The same time you did last, really. I honestly, I can't remember. My PlayStation is just, it's an amazing system, but just like you, I only play exclusives. I prefer my Xbox console overall, just because I prefer the way, the system works. I prefer the online setup, things like that. It's just personal preference. But I prefer to play my other games on there. I wished Xbox had some of the exclusives that Sony does, but they don't, and that's fine. That's why I have a PlayStation, so I could play the exclusives. What their service offers with the PlayStation Plus, Ultra Plus, that Nick is currently running with, that whole subscription service is a nostalgia service. You're paying to play old games. That's it. You're not paying to play games developed in the last 6 months. I love being able to go back. I played Dark Cloud the other day because I can, use Nick's service sometimes. I played Dark Cloud the other day, and I just love that game. It's a fantastic game, but it's not worth $25 a month.
Well, it's not 25, but yeah, it's 20. Right. It's not. It's 18. So for that one, it's $18. So, but I think the only benefit that Nick probably gets from that is the limited time trials on Blockbuster titles, right? You get access to that, whereas the other players don't. So what about you, Nick? When's the last time you were on your PlayStation previous to the current game that we're playing?
I get on my PlayStation quite often. As well as not as often as my Xbox. I'm on that more, but I mean, I do. The PlayStation does get powered on at least every couple of days or so, and that's to look at things or maybe play something. I mean, before we played the game currently playing, I played through Kena Bridge of Spirits, which was an awesome game. So it was on for quite a while I played through that. So, yeah.
Was that on the PlayStation Plus stuff though?
I think it is on there, but I already owned it. I'd bought it a long time ago. So there's another one. But yeah, when my subscription comes up, am I going to renew it? Probably not. I mean, I don't really play anything. I mean, the games that I do play are ones that I've either bought, I already own. I haven't come across anyone, unless something changes before my subscription comes up. I haven't come across anything in the service that I haven't already played or, don't want to play or haven't already played or don't already own. There are some titles on there I wouldn't mind playing, but it's also, when am I going to find the time to play these things, right? So,
yeah, the service overall is not worth the price. It's even if they don't have their exclusives on there, it's not worth that price. Now, I would pay $15 for their top tier a month for the classics, but how long would that hold up for me? Because, all right, I got to play this, I got to play that. Great. I did. Now I'm done with it. I mean, I'm going to treat it just like I treat it before they change the service. I'm going to pay for a monthly subscription, play the online game or whatever that I want to play, and then I'm going to cancel it because the service is just not what I want. That whole online thing. Most Sony exclusives are single player games, so I don't need to have their online services that often. I really don't. Now my biggest problem is I have it right now because I keep forgetting to cancel it, but it's the cheap one, the cheaper of the ones. But
yeah, the $9.
Yeah,
the $10. I should say it's $9.99. It's not 10. It's $9.99.
Yeah,
but so it's like 10, 15, and 18, depending on what you want. And that's the problem, right? Is the only way to get some of the more older games, which the PS2 and PS3 games, is with the top tier premium plan. They don't come on any of the other plans unless you live in a country where you can't get streaming, and then they have the deluxe to replace the premium one. But yeah, I'm in that same boat with you guys. I'm like, and the biggest thing for me is that I don't have time for back catalog stuff. I have too much stuff that needs my attention now, and then to go back and play a lot of this old back catalog stuff. So it's not worth it to me if they're not bringing anything that the problem is what I want to play. It depends on how bad I want to play it, if I buy it now or wait for it to go on sale. But what I'm not going to do is wait for it to go on to PlayStation Essentials, which is basically the lowest tier, before I can play it. If I really want to play it, it's going on my wish list to see when it's come on sale. And it will probably come on sale before it goes into the Essentials package. So me paying $10 a month isn't going to do anything when I buy when the game that I may want to play, it comes out a year later and the game already was like half off. Because then if I would have done that, I would have paid $120, or you get a deal for buying a year at a time, like $100 or something. So I'd have paid $100 for a game I paid $30 for. And if I only do that once or twice a year, then I didn't save myself any money. And that's the whole reason I do Game Pass, is because I get to play stuff that I don't have to buy day one.
Yeah, and Game Pass, you get new games. You get several new games. It may not be all AAA, but we have come across some wonderful gems that we would have never played without Game Pass. Sony's is it's old games. And one thing I like about it is because it is Sony, they have a amazing library of classic games from PlayStation 2. We'll skip PlayStation 3 because their streaming is garbage, absolute garbage. Granted, my internet's garbage, but that being said, they have a great, amazing catalog of back stuff. But the problem is, I don't want to play those, for $20. Sorry, $18 a month. It's just not worth it. For the $10 a month, it would be perfect. I would have no problem forgetting my payments to cancel it every month. I would enjoy it because there's going to be something on there I would love to play again, but it's not worth $20 a month or 18, whatever. I just don't see it. But I think the real reason, I think we're kind of getting off topic, is that I think the main reason they're losing is because of the confusion, and they're realizing that there's nothing there for those monthly fees. There's really not, because you're not getting new games. Stray is an example of what Sony did right. They released it. You got it with the PlayStation Plus service. I can't remember, did you have to be top tier on that one or second tier? I can't remember which one.
I think it was top tier. Actually, I think it was second tier. I think you had to be second tier to get that one.
Yeah, it was only on premium, which is top tier.
Oh, was it only on premium?
It was
But-
it was on Extra and Premium, and Extra is only available in areas where Premium's not available because of streaming.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
gotcha. So, but that was an example of where Sony did right. Sony did what they should be doing with all their games, putting it out on their Plus program, plain and simple.
But it was only on the to $18 plan, which
Yes.
was bogus.
which is kind of
because
crap.
because here's the thing: is the premium service was never billed as getting games that the lower one wouldn't, unless it was a time trial or it was an older back catalog game. So right there is already Sony playing dirty and saying, okay, we're going to give you access to some new games, but only if you have the most expensive tier, which was never mentioned in any advertisements. So to me, that's another thing against Sony where they're just being anti-consumer. Like, yeah, we changed our mind a little bit and we're going to bring some games to there, but only if you're paying us your $18 a month. Because, Stray was a good game. I will admit it was a good game. But the game was only what, a $40 game? So it's like, okay, so you paid 1/4 of that game with you paid half of the price of that game with 1 month of subscription. What did they lose, really? It's not like it was a $60 or $70 game, right? So
No,
or,
I wonder,
or was it cheaper? Was it 30? I can't remember if it was 30 or 40.
I want to
can't
say
remember.
it was 40, but
It wasn't.
I
full
wonder
price.
if when they announced it was coming out, if it actually increased their subscription service. Because even you jumped in, did you not, Pat? Jumped in and got it just for Stray?
No, I
Or did
bought
you-
Stray. I didn't.
Oh, so you
I
straight
bought it.
up bought it. I got you.
Yeah, I didn't get. I'm not. Yeah, screw them. I'm not buying their subscription service. It's not worth it because I'd had same thing would happen to me as it happened to you. I'd forget to cancel it. Next thing
Yeah.
I know, I'm 3 or 4 months deep, and I'm like, well, the dollar Stray wasn't worth the money.
No.
You know, I subscribed to get Stray, and now I paid twice as much as I should have for Stray because I subscribed for 4 months and I didn't play it for 2 months. So, but no, Stray to me, I got on. I purchased it. So.
Yeah. And Stray was a fantastic game, and that was one of those things that should have been on PlayStation's network along with many of their other exclusives. Ragnarok, if they put it on there, I guarantee they're going to catch up. They're going to more than catch up that 1.9 million lost subscribers easily. But it's Sony doing what Sony does. Sony finds little ways or big ways just to straight up milk the customer. And I think that's what their subscription service is doing. People are realizing it's not Game Pass. You're not getting first party. But I wish Microsoft had a better classic portfolio on their Game Pass. I wish they did, but it is what it is. But it's still, Game Pass is still a much better bargain. It's still a much better service. Problem is Sony needs to start spitting out those first party games big time to really make it better.
Well,
but
I kind
They're
of wonder if
getting
the two is going to meet, right? Microsoft service is increasing in number of subscribers. They went from 17 or 18 million a year ago to 25 million subscribers. And now Sony is starting to lose subscribers. So now, they lost 2 million subscribers. They're still at 45 million. So they still got a ways to go between the gap between Microsoft and them, but they went from 47, down to 45. And now, are they going to lose another 20 million? And the numbers are still going down. They're not stopping. Hiroki Totoki said that they think they're going to turn it around by adding more premium games, but I think that's not, because unless you're adding brand new premium games, the people who wanted to play those premium games have already freaking played them. So Mr. Totoki is not understanding the way that gamers' minds think and the way that gamers play. Because those of us who use subscription services are using them as a way to negate us having to pay more for games. They're a way for us as gamers to save money, not as a way for us gamers to spend more money, but to offset the cost of paying for a full price game.
Yeah, I mean, his concept of a premium game is a 2-year-old game. If he thinks a 2-year-old game is a premium game, Mr. Totoki has been smoky, because that ain't premium. That's old. That's it. I mean,
that was premium 2 years ago.
Exactly. That's
It's now
that's a
backroom
classic
stock.
now. Hey,
It's a backroom stock.
that's what you find on a GameStop bargain shelf. but it's just what Sony does. Sony's gonna have to realize that that is not premium, and that is not what the gamers want. Microsoft has ruined the gaming industry with Game Pass by making it such a good deal, making it so affordable to be able to get the quantity and type of games that you get to play. Sony's is just a back catalog. That's all you're getting out of it, and that stinks. But it is what it is. That's why I don't subscribe intentionally. I just forget to cancel the damn thing. So
I mean, Sony could. They just need to get their head out of their ass and put their first party titles on there. If they could do that, they would have a service that would be, equally on the same footing as Game Pass. But they don't want to, their problem is they want you to subscribe and pay $70 for their games. Right. They want you to do both, where Microsoft is saying like, hey, you only have to subscribe to this. And that's why people will say, OK, cool. That's all I have to do is just subscribe to this. And I get to play your first party titles. Now, granted, Microsoft doesn't have a lot of first party titles, but, new games come to the service. And what first party titles do come out, they come straight to the service. So if Sony followed suit with that, yeah, we wouldn't be reading an article that says PlayStation Plus nearly loses 2 million subscribers. We'd be reading an article that says PlayStation Plus gains 20 million subscribers, right? I mean, the amount of subscribers would just skyrocket if they started putting their first party day one onto the service. And I don't know. I mean, it's almost like the same thing with the PlayStation VR 2, right? Sony's just riding that wave of the loyal fan base who will buy anything. They shit gold on a cracker and people will buy it because it has Sony imprinted on the side of it, right?
I mean, if they shit gold on a cracker, I'd buy that too.
Okay, well, it's not gold.
I'll buy
it's
two.
It's chocolate foil. it's foil chocolate inside. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like they can give them gold colored shit on a cracker. We'll put it that way.
Everything's looked at rose colored glasses with them, right?
Yeah. And you as a gamer and us as gamers, right? And this goes out to the gamers out there. You've got to stop kissing the ass of corporations who do you dirty, right? Again, we've talked about this before, but if Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, whoever it is, if they're not doing right by the consumer, you need to call them out for it. Regardless if you really love Sony and PlayStation, you really love Xbox and Microsoft, you really love Nintendo and Switch, it doesn't matter. If they're bending you over and giving you the shaft, you need to turn around and tell them to stop, right? I mean, as much as we love video games and stuff, we also don't mind calling them out on their crap, right? And pointing the finger back at them and saying, you're doing bad, you're doing wrong, and you need to change the way you're doing things. Regardless, there's no thing, device or any type of purchasable item in this world where for me personally, that I have so much loyalty to it that no matter how wrong they do, I'm still just 100% loyal. They can do no wrong. No, Sony does wrong, Microsoft does wrong, and Nintendo does wrong, and they need to be ousted for when they do bad things.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's weird because it's just the way of the world. I mean, you have Apple, you have you have Apple fanboys, you have Samsung, you have Nintendo, you have PlayStation. Everybody has to be in a camp or a faction. Nobody wants to have just free thought anymore. It's from video games to politics to movies. DC is better than Marvel. Obviously Marvel's better than DC, but I digress. We need to get out of these camps, because if we do get out of them, guess what? It will benefit the gamers. It will benefit them, because that will tell the companies, look, our typical cornholing ain't working on these guys no more. We got to do something better, or do something worse, depending on the company. So, but before we ramble on too much and get off track even any damn further, you guys have anything else to say?
I'm a part of a red faction.
Better dead than red. All right.
It's a game reference, everyone.
Yeah, it's a game reference. Please look it up. Don't send him, rotten tomatoes or dirty underwear or nothing. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe, hit those notifications, and most importantly, give us your feedback. That's one thing we enjoy the most. We like comments, we like thoughts, we want your opinions on, on this subject and any subject that we bring up. And also, if you know what game he's talking about, put that in the comments below too. And until next time, see ya.